What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team. In today's video, if you're thinking about moving or relocating to the Greater Sacramento Metro, we're gonna give you the ultimate video experience of what it's like moving or relocating to Roseville, California. Now, normally in some of these videos, we've decided to separate these into 3 separate videos, but what we wanted to do today is give you the complete overview, everything that you need to know, the ultimate video of moving or relocating to Roseville, California.
Today we're going to be covering the pros and the cons, the awesome neighborhoods. We're going to talk about the different areas in Roseville, East Roseville, West Roseville, and Central Roseville. And we're also going to share with you some of our favorite things to do in this awesome city.
Let's check it out.
All right, so the first part of Roseville that we're going to talk about is going to be West Roseville. Now, I'm in West Roseville right now. Specifically, I'm in the Mahaney Park area. Now, the West Roseville area is going to be the 95747 zip code area. So if you're looking to narrow it down on a map, 95747 is going to cover all of West Roseville for the zip code out here. Now, the neighborhood that I'm going to share with you specifically is going to be Wood Creek Oaks. Now, Wood Creek Oaks is also going to be a little bit more centrally located. Now, when you're looking at where Wood Creek Oaks is on a map, Wood Creek Oaks is going to be a little bit more towards the center part of Roseville on the west part side. So located closely to Central Roseville, the first part of West Roseville. Now, West Roseville's been expanding like crazy. Lance will talk about that in a little bit. But specifically, Wood Creek Oaks, and why I love this neighborhood is it's really got a great established feel for West Roseville. Now, West Roseville has a lot of newer construction, so if you want to be out this way, but you're looking for a certain style of maybe a little bit older home or something that's a resale, Wood Creek Oaks is a great area to be in. Now, out here you can find homes that were built in the late 80s, some in the early 90s. They've got more space between them. You can also find a ton of homes out in this neighborhood that offer side RV parking because the homes in this part of West Roseville do not sit right on top of each other, which is great. Now, homes in this area, in the Wood Creek Oaks area, like I said, they're gonna be built more towards the late 80s, early 90s. They're gonna have more of that older feel, older vibe kind of style of home. So you can find homes that have this separate formal living room with the separate formal dining room, as well as a nook area and a den area. You can also find homes out here that have more side yard space. So if you're looking for something that has RV parking, you can find that out here too. Homes out here also offer a little bit more of a decent sized backyard than what we're seeing in some of the newer construction areas too. Now, specifically in Wood Creek Oaks, you can also find single-story homes as well as 2-story homes. They can range in size anywhere from about 1,600 square feet up past 2,000 square feet. So you can find a great home in this neighborhood if you're looking for a more established home on the West Roseville side. Now, moving along to a pro and a con for me for West Roseville. All right, so a pro for me for West Roseville is definitely gonna be the location. Now, more so in general, all of Roseville has great location. You're located closely to freeways. Roseville's got Interstate 80 that kind of runs through it, through the central part. And you're close to anywhere you have to go. So if you have to go into Sacramento for work, generally it's gonna be anywhere from a 25 to maybe a 30-minute commute, so not too bad. And our commutes up here are nothing like Southern California if you're used to that area or if you're used to a big city area. So the nice thing about Roseville is it's conveniently located to get anywhere. It doesn't take that long, which is super, super nice. Now, when we're talking more specifically about West Roseville and proximity, probably one of my favorite things about West Roseville is how close and easy it is to get to the airport. So being in West Roseville, you can take the back road, which is gonna be Baseline Road, which takes you all the way out to 99. You hop on 99, you go up, and you're practically right at the airport. It takes maybe 20 minutes. So like if I have to go pick up my mom from the airport or pick up a friend from the airport because they're arriving into town, I'll just say, hey, tell me what time you're landing. And if the plane lands at 7 o'clock, I'm leaving my house in West Roseville at 7 o'clock. And by the time they get off the plane and make it to those doors, I'm there when they're ready to be picked up, which is super easy and nice and convenient versus having to travel across town or through multiple freeways. It's nice having that back way location. All right, now my con for West Roseville or Roseville in general is that it is a little bit more crowded. It is a little bit more busy, mainly because there's a ton of new growth out here. A lot of people want to move to Roseville. So our, restaurants and stuff can take a little bit longer to get into. Nothing overly crazy, but there is more people. You're going to be dealing with more congestion. through different times of the year. So that is something to be aware of, is that it is a little bit busier, it is a little bit more crowded and a little bit more hectic out in Roseville. So if you're looking for more of that rural, kind of slower pace, kind of not as many people, then Roseville might not be the best area for you. All right, now let's wrap it up with my things to do in West Roseville. So the first thing is gonna be Mahaney Park, which is where I'm at right now. Mahaney is another kind of one of those mega parks, kind of similar to Maidu, that we've talked about in other videos, but they have baseball fields, which is kind of where I'm at right now. They've got batting cages out here. They've got an all-turf soccer field that also doubles as a football field and flag football events that they run there. You've also got 2 different playground play structures, one specifically for smaller kiddos, which is great. So if you have, 2, 3-year-olds that want to go play on the playground, they can go to the smaller aged playground, which is fenced in, and they don't have to worry about big kids trampling on them, which is a really, really nice thing. Then you also have another playground that's kind of right across from that at Mahaney Park that has, structures that are great for climbing for your older kiddos, with swings and different, slides and stuff. So tons of stuff to do out here. Mahaney Park is a great area. Now, another thing to do in West Roseville is definitely going to be the Roseville Aquatic Center, which is out here located right next to Wood Creek High School. And they run a ton of different events out of this. You've got a year-round swim team, CCA, that runs out of this. So if you're looking to get your kiddos into a swim team, you've got that here with the Roseville Aquatic Center. Now, the city of Roseville also runs swim lessons out of this facility for anybody, any age. So if you've got to get your kiddos swimming, maybe you don't know how to swim, maybe you want to become a better swimmer, that's something that you can do too. And they run like different splash social events out of the Roseville Aquatic Center as well. And there's also water polo leagues and different things that happen there too. And during the summer months, it's open for open swim. So you can buy a pass, you can come and you can swim there as well. Now, another cool thing about Mahaney, which is where I'm at, you also have the library here. So the Martha Riley Library is going to be at this specific park area. So you've got a local library that you can come and check out and visit, which is super fun too. It's super cool. Now, lastly, the thing that I want to talk about when I'm talking about things to do in West Roseville is definitely the trails. So Roseville has a great trail system that interconnects the entire city. If you like to go running, if you like to go walking or biking, then you can hop on one of the trails here. All of the trails throughout Roseville interconnect. So you could start in West Roseville, you can end in East Roseville, or turn around and come back, which is really, really cool. I love that the city has set up these awesome different trails that kind of weave around through the neighborhoods and go all the way across Roseville. It's really, really cool. So Roseville City Parks is definitely something that's amazing with Roseville because of all the different things that they do, and all of the different things that they plan throughout the city as well.
All right, so we are out here in our second neighborhood right now. Lauren is going to talk to you about the Wood Creek neighborhood that's going to be a little bit more central, or it's going to be a little bit more inward in West Roseville. I'm going to be talking to you about our second neighborhood in West Roseville, which is going to be kind of the West Park area. Now, West Park as a whole is pretty massive. It's not just one, I would say, neighborhood. It's kind of more of a master plan community. That was where we started to see a lot of our new construction development that was going to be out here. So, which is going to lead me into our first pro. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But, the nice thing about this area is, you've got a ton of these awesome, cool parks around here. The West Park area is going to be pretty much on the west side of Fittyment on the way out to kind of like Highway 99 if you're going out towards Sacramento. So it's going to be pretty far out there, but this is going to be primarily where you are going to be seeing most of the new construction out here. So the cool thing is about West Roseville or West Park as it relates to the neighborhood, or at least my favorite thing, is you are going to have the most amount of new construction out here. So that's going to be my first pro about Roseville, is that you can have the opportunity to have new construction homes in Roseville. Now, the Greater Sacramento Metro, for the most part, is only going to have about 5 or 6 clusters or areas where you can purchase new construction, and Roseville is going to be one of them. And I would say Roseville is going to be kind of in the middle of the pack, so you can find a lot of different affordable options. Now, West Park, or the West Roseville area as it relates to new construction out here, you're going to have a couple of other different areas that are going to be, other different sub-communities like Solaire. You're going to have Seasons. You're going to have a lot of different new construction areas out here that are going to be in this general vicinity. The awesome thing about this area right now is the weather is absolutely beautiful today. It's probably like 70, 72 degrees out here. Everybody's out at the park walking around. Niners are in the playoffs right now. They're playing right now, but it's just a super cool neighborhood. Like, there are just kids everywhere. They're riding their bikes, playing at the park. People are over at Kitchen 747. They're having beers, watching the football game, and it's just a really cool vibe. So that's one of the other things about this area that's been cool. They have actually started to get some more developments out here as it relates to some new grocery stores. So this shopping center that's going to be on the backside of this park over here off of Pleasant Grove is going to have Kitchen 747. They're also going to have a F45 gym. They're going to have Mojo's Coffee, which is one of our favorite places to grab a cup of coffee in West Roseville. But they're also going to have a brand new grocery store or a brand new shopping center that just got built over off of Blue Oaks and Fittyment. There's going to be a brand new Raley's One Market out there. They're going to have an Argo gas station, so that's going to kind of service a little bit more of kind of that Winding Creek area, which is a new neighborhood that we just showed you a couple weeks back on that Roseville new construction video. Then you're also going to have a new Safeway that's going to be on the corner of Fittyment and Pleasant Grove, which is going to be nice. That's going to kind of push all the grocery stores one block further. So right now, most of the grocery stores in the West Roseville area were on Wood Creek Oaks and Blue Oaks, or Wood Creek Oaks and Pleasant Grove. Now that's going to kind of kick out to Fittyment. So you got the Raley's One Market, you're going to have a new Safeway. And then on Fittyment and Baseline, you're also going to have a brand new Costco. So that is going to be awesome. That's going to relieve a lot of the traffic, a lot of the pressure on the Costco that's going to be in Central Roseville that we'll talk about a little bit later. But that brand new Costco in West Roseville is going to be an absolute lifesaver for anybody that's living out here. So you're pretty close to amenities. You know, a lot of this stuff out here, you're gonna have a couple of different active adult communities that we've showed you on the videos in the past, but you also are gonna have a brand new high school out here, West Park High School. So tons of cool things. So that's my first pro for Roseville in general, or just West Roseville, is going to be that you're gonna have tons of opportunities for new construction. Now, with that comes my first con of this video, which is gonna be the fact that what comes with new construction typically is also Melrose tax. So Melrose tax is going to be an added bond or an added tax that's going to be typically found on new construction properties. Now, the thing that we don't wanna label or we don't wanna blanket is that all new homes have Melrose tax, but there is a pretty good chance that it will. And so the thing that you want to keep in mind is that if you're deciding that you're wanting to look at new construction, just know that the Melrose tax is just like any other tax. It's going to show up on your property tax bill. A lot of the new construction homes actually will take that section or take that portion out and they'll give it to you in a dollar amount, but typically it's going to show up on your property tax bill. So base property tax bill in California is going to be 1% of the purchase price, and then you're going to have all of these other different kind of community bonds, different kind of Melrose bonds that could potentially be on there. So if you do have a specific question about a new home community or anything that we've shown on this channel up until this point, reach out to us, ask us the question, let us do some research for you and figure out what community that you really like, which one has any kind of Melrose taxes or Melrose bonds, and that way we can get you that answer. But we're gonna keep taking you around. So our next section is gonna take us over to Central Roseville. We're gonna show you all the cool shopping, all the fun things to do, a couple of neighborhoods over in Central Roseville, and then we'll finish this video kind of recapping what's out for you in East Roseville. So that way you have the most complete view of everything that you need to know, pros and cons, best neighborhoods, and a high level overview of what it's like living in Roseville, California. All right, so the second portion of this video, we're actually in the Fountains. So we are in Central Roseville, and we are actually in one of the most popular places to go shopping in Roseville, California. It's gonna be the Fountains, which is gonna be directly across the street from the Roseville Galleria Mall. Now, the cool thing about this place is there are tons of different outdoor shops. Each one of us is gonna give you a pro, each one of us is gonna give you a con of maybe things that we like or dislike about Central Roseville. And then we're also gonna take you over to one of our favorite neighborhoods. So when we actually used to live in Central Roseville, we used to live over in Diamond Oaks. So it's about, I would say less than a couple of miles of a walk, but it's really nice because you can come over here to all the shops. There's a Whole Foods in the Fountains. There's also a Pete's Coffee, which is close. I mean, I'm not really a huge Pete's Coffee guy, but you know, for the most part, it is close. It's within walking distance. So
that's going to lead us into our first pro about Central Roseville. Now, definitely the pro for Central Roseville is that you have a ton of shopping out here. So you've got the Roseville Galleria Mall, which has over 240 stores, every store you could possibly think of or need. You've got Apple, you've got Nordstrom's, all the main stores, as well as a ton of cute boutique stores. And then like he said, right now we're at Fountains. So Fountains is an outdoor shopping center across from the mall, perfect for, you know, those nice summer, spring days, even fall, to come out here, hang out. There's a ton of cool things in the Fountains. You've got a little fire pit area you can hang around. They also have a really cool fountain thing. And one of the cool things about Central Roseville is all of the awesome shopping out here. And with all the awesome shopping comes all of the restaurants. So there's a ton of restaurants in Central Roseville. So if you live in Central Roseville, you're super close to all of the action and everything that you need.
So the cool thing about this area of the Fountains, right? So right across, you've got a Dave & Buster's, which is, you know, a little bit smaller than maybe what some people are used to as it relates to traditional Dave & Buster's. From what we've heard, this is a little bit smaller than maybe some of the bigger ones. You've got this new restaurant that just took over where the old Makuni Kaizen was before they moved into the same parking lot, but this is called Rose Park Bistro. This is supposedly a really good restaurant, a lot of really good feedback, but you're also gonna have a little bit more of kind of some of the things that aren't traditional to kind of the Roseville area. You're gonna have Salt and Straw, which is an ice cream shop that was typically from Texas. You're gonna have Nick the Greek in here. You're gonna have Burger Lounge. On the front side of this development, back where we were walking from, you're gonna have Whole Foods, you're gonna have Pete's, and then also in this parking lot, like we said, you're gonna have Makuni Sushi, and you're gonna have a Yard House in here. So usually on Fridays and Saturday nights, this place is pretty poppin'. And then over there, actually across from back this way, you're gonna have Zocalo, which is gonna be an authentic Mexican food restaurant. So pretty cool. But leading to my first pro, in addition to just Central Roseville having really all of the things to do, I mean, we have Top Golf here. We have a couple of axe throwing places over here. You've got the mall, you've got the movie theater. There's also a bowling alley that's attached to that movie theater now. For me, I think the thing that I loved most about Central Roseville when we lived over here, like obviously we're walking back over to Diamond Oaks. We used to live over in Diamond Oaks, which is the neighborhood that we're gonna kind of give you some perspective to, but I really like how close and convenient everything is in Central Roseville. So if you happen to live in any of the neighborhoods in Central Roseville, you're gonna be super close to all the shops, right? So we're within walking distance to Diamond Oaks. That's a really nice feature. Some of the homes in Diamond Oaks are probably gonna be, I don't know, they were kind of built in the 60s and 70s. There's a couple of newer community developments that are kind of along that strip. You know, when you live in a neighborhood in Central Roseville, we're gonna cover two of them today. We're gonna show you Diamond Oaks, and then we're gonna show you one more as kind of a driving tour. But the other element to that pro is, you know, everything's just super convenient. So if you have any kind of activities that you gotta do, you got any kind of errands you gotta run, you know, you're just within I would say like a 5 or 10 minute drive to a bunch of those different stores, shops on the corner of Galleria and East Roseville Parkway. So that's my pro for kind of Roseville in this section of our video, is gonna be that everything is just super convenient to everything. So now we're gonna be taking you over to Diamond Oaks. So as we flip this around, you know, the cool thing is like, you know, this first section of Diamond Oaks is gonna be, you know, kind of like, you know, early 2000s, kind of maybe late 90s. But you know, you've got nice wide sidewalks, and this strip of road is gonna go all the way down to the other side where it's gonna connect into Washington Boulevard, which is gonna be a little bit more Central Roseville. But you know, it's super nice. I mean, this is kind of a little bit of a pass-through street, so Diamond Oaks Road specifically can be a little bit busy. But the cool thing about this area is you're gonna have one of Roseville's 2 municipal golf courses located within the neighborhood. So that was pretty cool. You can go catch a round of golf, and theoretically, not a lot of people in this neighborhood have kind of golf carts, but if you wanted to have a golf cart, I don't see why you couldn't. And then you can go right over to the golf course. Also in this neighborhood, you're also super close to the original high school, which is Roseville. So that's kind of nice. So people who are, you know, families who have kids that are high schoolers that are in this area, you could theoretically just, you know, ride your bike to school if you wanted to. So that's kind of convenient being close to. But yeah, so this is just kind of the newer part of Diamond Oaks. And then as we get a little bit further down into kind of more the central part of Diamond Oaks, you'll start to see kind of the homes get a little bit older and kind of get a little bit more of that like 70s, you know, 70s, early 80s kind of feel. Tri-level homes, two-story homes, single-story homes in here, but really clean, well-kept neighborhood. And this is probably going to be one of the most convenient. But you also see like houses like this where, you know, they've been redone and cleaned up and, you know, making to look really nice.
All right, so the con for Central Roseville is definitely going to be the busyness and the traffic. So if you don't like being around kind of the hustle and bustle and the busyness, then maybe this might not be the best area for you. Now, especially during the holiday season, we see a lot of traffic around the mall. It can get backed up. So if you're living in Diamond Oaks and maybe you're kind of commuting to and from places during certain times of the year, it can add additional commute time trying to get past the mall if you have to go past the mall to get to the freeway or to get to wherever you're going to.
So like she was saying, the traffic is going to be one of those things where if you don't like dealing with traffic, this is probably going to be the worst area for you as it relates to Central Roseville, because during the holiday season, from about Black Friday all the way through till Christmas, it probably will add about an extra 10 to 15 minutes if you have to go across town from, let's say, West Roseville to East Roseville, or if you got to go from certain areas, you got to get on the freeway, you got to come over here to Costco, because we haven't gotten the other two Costcos. But just a quick little pause, right? So we're about halfway down. We just walked. So now we're over here by kind of Diamond Oaks Park on one side, which is super nice. And then on the other side, you've got Diamond Oaks Golf Course. So this is like, I want to say this is hole 17 and 16 on the right. You got some guys on the putting green, and then they're getting ready to tee off for hole 17. But you've got the Muni course. This is about 6,000 yards. We kind of tried to showcase it at one point in time, but didn't really work out too well. Yeah, so like Lauren talked about a little bit earlier in the video, Roseville, some of the feedback that we have gotten is that, you know, aside from traffic, it is a little bit busier here. So, you know, restaurants are going to be a little bit more impacted in this area of town. And it's just going to have, you know, a lot of people moving here, right? So in the West Roseville section, we talked about new construction. We talked about just kind of more people that are moving here. Roseville is the third largest city in the Sacramento Metro. So it does draw a lot of interest because of the school district, because of the safety ratings, because of some of those other things that people are really well drawn to. All right, so stick around because we are going to take you over to one of the other highly popular neighborhoods in Central Roseville, which is going to be Highland Reserve. And then stay around until the very end because we are going to jump over to our last section of Roseville, which is going to be East Roseville. And we're going to give you two more pros, two more cons, and talk about what some of the neighborhoods and lifestyle is like in East Roseville. All right, so the last neighborhood that we're going to take you guys over to is going to be Highland Reserve in Central Roseville. So this neighborhood is going to be, you know, west from kind of the Diamond Oaks area. It's going to be off of East Roseville Parkway, just past Pleasant Grove, in between, really kind of in between Pleasant Grove and Blue Oaks. But we're gonna flip it around so you guys can kind of see what some of the neighborhood is like. And just, you know, there's gonna be, you know, Venzel Brown Park over here. There's going to be Boljon Middle School, which is gonna be over here. But these homes are gonna be primarily built somewhere in the early 2000s. You're gonna have homes that are gonna be, you know, somewhere in between kind of that 3 to 5 bedroom mark. A lot of single family homes, single story, two story, not a lot of apartment complexes over here or kind of condos or townhomes, but just so you can kind of see what some of the perspective is of some of the house type of housing in the neighborhood. So we'll drive through a couple of the neighborhoods over here and just kind of give you guys a picture of what that looks like. So on this side, we've got an elementary school, we've got the Venzel Brown Park, but you know, the cool thing about Highland Reserve is, or, you know, the cool thing about Roseville in general is you're going to have a lot of these, you know, neighborhoods and homes that are going to be really kind of built in. So this is going to be a neighborhood within Highland Reserve, you know, so you're going to see just a little bit of some of the housing, what it looks like, get a kind of feel of this neighborhood. Very clean, wide streets, you know, newer homes that are kind of built in that early, like I said, early 2000s. You're going to be a little bit closer to Top Golf over here as well, but just a really clean, super nice neighborhood. And the homes in this area are probably going to go somewhere between, you know, I would say starting in the high 500s, and they can go into kind of like the low 8s depending on what you find and really what you're looking for. So you can definitely find some 3-2s in here. But you're going to also see some pretty grand houses, some 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom homes, 3 bathrooms, typically a bedroom and a bathroom downstairs. So really good neighborhood. A lot of our clients that have lived in here really like it.
All right, now the next area in Roseville that we're going to talk about is going to be East Roseville, which is where I'm at right now. Now the neighborhood I'm going to share with you about is going to be the Maidu neighborhood. I'm currently standing in Maidu Park, which is one of the big mega parks here in Roseville. Now specifically talking about the Maidu neighborhood, one of the awesome things about this neighborhood and this area in East Roseville is that this part of East Roseville has a more established feel. You're going to have tons of trees. At this park you can kind of see behind me, there's a bunch of trees in the background. Now the housing situation in the Maidu part of East Roseville, you're going to have more ranch style homes that were built in the late 70s through the 80s. Now these homes, if you're looking for a home that's got maybe a separate formal dining room and a formal living room along with the den and a nook, you're going to find those kind of houses here. You're also going to find a lot larger lots because of the time period of when these homes were built. So back in the 80s, builders weren't cramming homes on top of each other. You had, you know, bigger spread out kind of land. You had more space between you and your neighbor. Now they are like an established neighborhood feel, so you will be able to see your neighbor. You're not super far away, but it's not the situation where you can look out your bedroom window and then see right into the house or bedroom window of the house next to you. So that's really nice. Now another thing with the homes out here is with the bigger lots, you're going to have more pool-sized lots. So, you know, if you're looking for a home with a pool, that's definitely something that you can find out here. But if you're also looking for a home that has space where you could potentially put your own pool in, that is something you can find out here in the Maidu area as well. Now, one of my favorite things about the Maidu neighborhoods and the houses out here is they're just really well kept, super clean, really good neighborhoods. And because of all the different parks that are close by and being close to Maidu Park, you've got tons of kiddos. So if you're a growing family and you want to find a great spot to fit in, East Roseville definitely kind of has that vibe going, where, you know, you'll see kiddos playing out in the parks together, you know, playing up and down the different streets together. You definitely have that feel over here in the Maidu neighborhood in East Roseville. One thing to note about the area out here is definitely all of the mature trees. So as you can kind of see behind me, just tons and tons of gorgeous, big, full of life trees that, you know, in the summer months provide great shade, but also kind of just give you more of that feel like you are in Roseville, so you are more of like that suburb kind of city kind of feel, but you also have the mature growth, so it doesn't feel like a sterile environment. It has a lot of character. Tons of great things out here in Maidu and East Roseville. I'm gonna give you one pro and one con specifically for East Roseville. Now for me, the pro to East Roseville is definitely gonna be the education out here. So for East Roseville, half of the homes are actually gonna feed to the Granite-based school system, which is a huge plus if you live in that part of town and you have kiddos, because the Granite-based schools are rated a little bit higher, and Granite Bay High School, which is a part of Roseville Joint Union High School District, currently rates a 10 out of 10 overall on greatschools.org. Now, why is this school so amazing? I'm gonna tell you myself. I have 2 kiddos currently there right now. We love this school. We've had nothing but great experiences here. And on top of being a 10 out of 10, the school does an amazing job when it comes to sports and academic life. So if you've got kids who you want to take more advanced classes, that's definitely an offering here. So I definitely would say a pro to East Roseville is gonna be the schools. Now, maybe you don't live in the part of East Roseville that feeds to the Granite-based schools. Not to worry, because the other part feeds to Oakmont High School. And Oakmont High School is another amazing school, which is one of the few schools, Granite Bay included. Now, if you live in the part of East Roseville that feeds to Oakmont High School, this is another great school. It's got a super high rating on greatschools.org. And on top of that, this school also offers the prestigious IB program. So if you're looking to send your kids to a school that has advanced placement classes, you know, Oakmont does offer the IB program as well as Granite Bay, so it's not lesser of an education. They're still getting a great education. So I love East Roseville because when you look at Roseville as a whole, all of the schools are great, but these 2 schools really stand out and excel. So moving on to my con is definitely gonna be East Roseville has a lack of nightlife. So if you're the type of person who you wanna go out late at night, you wanna experience the bar scene, you're definitely not gonna find that in this part of town. This is much more of a suburb, quiet, kind of quaint family feel that you're gonna experience in this part of town. So if you're looking for nightlife, definitely a con to this part of Roseville. You're not gonna experience it here. Not a lot of things are open super late. So, you know, past 9:30, good luck, it's probably closed. All right, now let's talk about the fun things to do. Now, moving on to some of the fun things to do in East Roseville. East Roseville does have a few things to do out here. So definitely one of my favorite things is gonna be the parks. So like I said, right now I'm at Maidu Park. Now, Maidu Park is this like mega park. They have everything you can possibly think of. They've got soccer fields that they just recently redid a couple years ago, so there's no holes in them, which is great. It's a great place to come out and enjoy a soccer game. If your kids are into soccer, they run a lot of soccer leagues out of this specific park with Roseville City. And Maidu also has baseball fields, which, let me see if I can kind of turn around. You can kind of see them behind me right there. They also have a skate park out here. The skate park is amazing. So if your kiddo likes to skateboard, you can come out here to Maidu Park, you can skateboard. They also have batting cages out here, and they also have playgrounds. So they have a couple different playgrounds. You've got the playground that's attached to Maidu Elementary School out here. Then you also have this super cute little playground that my girls absolutely loved when they were younger. The playground here, it's like a Western theme. It's kind of got like the little like hotel looking saloon kind of thing going on. It also has a really cute little miniature toddler maze. So if you've got littles, there's a little maze that's made out of like small fence posts, so you can still see where they are. They're not gonna get lost in it. But just a really great park. Now, on top of the park amenities they have here at Maidu, you also have a library here, which is great if you know you need to come and get books. But out of the library, you can also rent video games. So just a really kind of fun, different place. Now, on top of that, Maidu Park also has the Maidu Living History Museum out here too. So a lot of times the different schools in this area will come and do field trips to that, which is fun. But just a ton of really cool things when it comes to the park here. I love this park. There's also a giant trail that goes all the way around the park. So if you want to walk your dog, you know, there's a giant safe loop that's paved. And also has sidewalks, so you can do that here too, which is amazing. So just Roseville overall, when it comes to parks, they have a ton of great things to offer. I love Maidu Park. I can't say enough great things about it. You know, if you've got kids, if you've got littles, really kind of any age, you can come here and hang out and have a great time. Moving on to other things to do in East Roseville. You also have petroglyphs, so my girls love to paint pottery. You can come to this place, you can paint some pottery, they'll fire it in the kiln, and then you can pick it up later. Just a really fun family, wholesome kind of activity to come do at Petroglyph. That's in East Roseville. And then the last thing, we can't talk about East Roseville without talking about Sunsplash. Now, it's not summertime right now, but during the summer months, we do have Golfland Sunsplash, so it has a little mini golf area that's super fun. If you're good at that, I'm really bad at that. So it's fun, but it's more fun to go and laugh at how bad I am. So during Christmas time, it's just kind of a fun activity to go do during that season when it's all lit up. It's gorgeous. And then during the summer months, you've got the Sunsplash part open, which just features a ton of different water slides. So my girls last summer had season passes to Sunsplash, and I'm pretty sure they lived there most of the summer. But really fun place to go, safe place to go to experience kind of that family outing. So East Roseville has a lot to offer. I personally love the Maidu neighborhood. I love the kind of mature feel. I love the houses out here. Just a bunch of different variety that you can find. And it's just a really, really nice area. So we're gonna pass it over to Lance here in a minute. He's gonna share with you about the next neighborhood in East Roseville, which is another great neighborhood. So you definitely gonna wanna stay tuned and make sure you're watching that. Now, before we pass it over to Lance, I do wanna remind you guys that we are licensed real estate agents in the state of California, so that number should be popping up. So if you have any questions about any of the areas that we've talked about today, or you want to get more information, or better yet, reach out to us, schedule that Zoom call so we can help make your next move to the Greater Sacramento area as easy as possible.
All right, so keeping with the theme of taking you around and giving you guys the best absolute video for if you're thinking about moving or relocating to Roseville, we're in one of our last neighborhoods for this video, which is going to be kind of that Stone Ridge Secret Ravine area. So this neighborhood is going to be pretty much on the top of the hill, kind of over off of East Roseville Parkway. Now this is going to be kind of behind the Lifetime Fitness that's going to be up here in East Roseville Parkway. Now the cool thing about this neighborhood is it is going to be pretty centrally located in East Roseville. We're going to be out here, so right across the street from that, we're going to have Stone Ridge Elementary. This neighborhood particularly is going to feed into Oakmont High School, and I believe the junior high is going to be Olympus Junior High. But the cool thing is about this particular neighborhood is that you've just got some pretty awesome views. So pretty much everything on the other side of this wall is going to look into Miners Ravine Trail. So it is going to be pretty awesome as it relates to some of that stuff. But you know, just the views up here are going to be absolutely awesome. It's really good school districts up here, which is going to lead me into my last pro for Roseville, which isn't going to be particular to East Roseville, but really all of Roseville. And one of my favorite things, which is going to be the utility cost here. So the utility cost here is going to be super cheap as it relates to your electricity, and just all in all, it's going to be more affordable. The city of Roseville actually includes your water, garbage, sewer, and electricity bill all into one bill, which is awesome. Keeps things super simple. So you only have one bill for city of Roseville, and then you're gonna have your other bill for PG&E for your gas. But the electricity cost is going to be super low. So the nice thing when you're comparing city of Roseville electricity to SMUD or PG&E, it is going to be significantly less. So all of city of Roseville has it. There is going to be a couple of parts kind of over in West Roseville that we showed you at the beginning of this video. There will be kind of some areas that are going to be a little bit closer to Sacramento County that may not have it, but for the most part, all of city of Roseville is going to have it. So that's going to be my #1 pro. But you know, we're going to kind of cut into this neighborhood here for a quick second, kind of walk you down, show you some of the houses. But the nice thing is all these houses kind of are built on this hill, really kind of behind Lifetime Fitness, right? So you've got Miners Ravine Trail is going to be kind of right down there. A lot of these houses in this neighborhood are going to back up to different trail entry points, which is super nice. This is just one of my favorite neighborhoods because you have that access to that trail down there, which is kind of convenient. So the nice thing about the homes in this neighborhood is they are going to be a little bit newer. So they're going to be kind of post, you know, 1995, early 2000s. They're going to have a lot of stucco. They're going to have tile roofs, a lot of those materials that have been updated with some of the newer construction that have been just nicer to deal with on the longevity of your house. But yeah, just kind of check out some of these views. Very hilly. You got some nice sidewalks, some nice trail running if you want to do any kind of trail running out here. You just want some nice areas where you feel comfortable. A lot of the homes in these neighborhoods up here at this top part of the hill, they can range anywhere from kind of like the high 600s, and we've seen them go up in some of the gated communities where they've gone all the way up to kind of that 900K mark. Some of them have kind of touched $1 million, but really at the end of this street, you're going to hit the top of the hill, which is going to be Sierra College, and then that's going to be kind of bordered up to Granite Bay as well. So the other cool thing about this part of East Roseville, I would say Lauren didn't really mention it on that part of her video, but we are going to be primarily close to 2 of the major hospitals that are going to be located here in Roseville. So if you're moving here, or if you're moving to the Greater Sacramento Metro and you're in the medical profession, whether you're a doctor, you're a nurse, and you want to be close to some of the hospitals, 2 of the major hospitals are going to be located here in East Roseville. So they're both going to be kind of down at the bottom of this hill. One of them is going to be Sutter Hospital. The other one is going to be Kaiser. So both of them are pretty cool. Now, as you can kind of tell, we're walking in the neighborhood. I'm getting a little winded here. Feel like I haven't gotten my cardio in, even though I have, but that's going to lead me into our last con for Roseville. And Roseville, all in all, is not going to be very walkable. Now, when I say not very walkable, obviously, we've got tons of people. We've got a couple people right here. They're out in Roseville right now for a walk. But the biggest thing when I say walkability is you're not walking around in these areas like San Francisco, like downtown Sacramento, like some of your major metropolitan areas where you can pretty much get away with not having a car. Here, you're gonna need a car. So from certain parts of East Roseville, certain parts of West Roseville, and even certain parts of Central Roseville, you are gonna be probably about a 10 to 15 minute drive to grocery stores. You're gonna be a 10 to 15 minute drive to some of the fun things to do. You're probably going to be, you know, a 25 to 35 minute drive to some of your places of employment. So you're pretty much going to need a car for everything. So that's going to be our last con, is Roseville is definitely not very walkable. It is walkable in the sense that if you want to get your cardio in, you want to climb up this big hill, you're going to be, you know, coming here down towards different areas. But for the most part, Roseville is not going to be very walkable from a convenience standpoint, or having to accomplish some of your day-to-day goals as it relates to that. So keep that in mind. You know, Roseville is definitely a residential suburb as a whole, but even if you break it down into the three main areas, Central Roseville, you'll probably have the most amount of walkability if you choose one of the neighborhoods that is going to be over in Central Roseville that we covered. But for the most part, like up here, we've got the elementary school that's across from me right now. The high school is going to be probably about a 10 to 15 minute drive. If your kids are going to be going to Oakmont, probably about a 15-minute drive if they're going to be going to Granite Bay, which is going to be the other closest high school. And you're probably going to be a 10-minute drive away from Olympus Junior High. Closest grocery stores as it relates to that, you're going to have a Sprouts that's going to be pretty much across the street from the Kaiser Hospital. You're going to have a Raley's that's going to be down on Douglas. But where we're located at least in this particular neighborhood, you are going to be pretty close to like Central Roseville, Galleria, Fountains. So that kind of shopping is going to be a little bit closer. There is going to be a Whole Foods that's going to be over in the Fountains that we showed you a little bit earlier in this video. And then the other thing that a lot of people kind of ask us questions about, aside from, you know, your Whole Foods and Sprouts, is there is going to be a Trader Joe's that's going to be kind of over off of 80 and Douglas. So that one's probably going to be a 15-minute drive from certain areas. But, you know, these are just two of the neighborhoods that we showed you in East Roseville. We showed you two neighborhoods in Central Roseville, and we showed you two neighborhoods in West Roseville. Now, obviously, we know that there are plenty of awesome neighborhoods in all of Roseville, maybe even more than the 6 that we showed you today. And for the most part, these are just some of the pros and cons, but we definitely wanted to give you 6 pros and cons. We wanted to give you 6 different neighborhoods that you can kind of see, 2 of each of these neighborhoods, things to do, some of the fun stuff, what you're going to be close to, and really kind of just a high level overview. So this can be your only video that you would need if you're thinking about moving or relocating to Roseville or the Greater Sacramento Metro. All right, so that was the complete video of what it's like moving or relocating to the Roseville, California area. So if you have any questions about Roseville specifically, or maybe you want to expand on a little bit more of maybe some of the neighborhoods that we didn't cover in today's video, some of our pros and cons, or you're thinking about making a move or relocating to the Greater Sacramento Metro, that phone number is going to be popping back up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message, and we absolutely love it when you guys reach out to us.
Or better yet, you can scan that QR code and schedule your one-on-one Zoom call with us so that we can help make your move to this area as easy as possible.